What's up, Cooksy Mob? How we doing? Hey, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing live shows this summer. I kind of want to get out and get to the lake and doing 4 hours watching the race and having to watch it live and then immediately come in with the show. I might do a few, but I probably won't do them every week. So I apologize for that. But guys, I just want to get out and I've been busting my ass. I work 3 separate jobs and I do videos. So yeah, I want to just try and free up a little more personal me time this summer. So I don't know how many live shows I'm going to do, but I will do some. I'll do the overreaction shows. I'm scrapping the prediction show because that's the one where I can kind of get some stuff done that I need to do for life. But let's get into this Super Duper Motocross World Championship that doesn't happen outside of the United States. Round number 18. Is that what we're on for the Super Duper Ridiculous Cross? Anyway, before we get into my opinions, as you can see, I'm feeling a little froggy today. EBC Brakes. You guys know EBC. They've supported me for a long time, and they're awesome. So check them out. They got brake pads, rotors, brake lines. They're awesome. Complete Racing Solutions. If you want to get in shape and you want to know your body's biological, markers, and Coach does it on such a scientific level, it's unparalleled. But he's got programs for everybody. They start at $22. Go to Complete Racing Solutions and let them know Cooksy sent you. So, all right, guys, let's get into this ridiculous cross.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
All right, so we had some interesting news drop last week. I'm working on a video right now talking about Daniel Blair leaving broadcasting, and I'm just reaching out. I'm just making sure I got all my facts straight and everything before I come out and just lambaste. Like, I'm literally I'm gonna send him out in flames. It is what it is. Hey guys, this 250 race. The 250 race is the premier race this summer. There's probably 20 guys that haul ass. Talon Hawkins, I think, got 20th place, and Talon Hawkins is a bad dude. Problem is, they brought him up a little bit early. Now, when I said Hayden Deegan shouldn't go pro, I obviously got that one wrong. But I was worried what is happening to Talon Hawkins would happen to Hayden Deegan. He's losing confidence. Another year as an amateur would have benefited Talon greatly. He looks like these guys coming in, the Hymases, Jet Reynolds had a great showing, Ryder DeFrancisco, all these guys coming in, and after he's raced a full pro season in Supercross, to get smoked by these dudes can't be good for the psyche. I'm not saying he can't come back from it, but it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of effort. Hunter had a big one earlier in the week. I didn't know about this. They kept it pretty quiet and didn't look quite as dominant as I thought he might be. And then the second moto, he comes out and absolutely looks like he's going to make it boring. RJ did what RJ does. He went out, he won a moto, and that second moto where he crashed 3 times and just kept charging. I don't know how you couldn't be a fan or at least have a certain amount of respect for his effort and his, nobody has more heart in this sport than RJ Hampshire. He'll go down in history as from now on when people talk about effort and never giving up, I don't know how you don't bring him up into this. If I'm teaching kids and I want to teach them about effort, I'm showing them RJ Hampshire. RJ Hampshire always gives everything. And oftentimes when none of us would blame him for mailing it in. If he had mailed it in that moto after going down twice and being way back in last place, second moto, torn up track, and just mailed it in and rode for 15th or even pulled off and said, the lever was bent. I don't think anyone would have said anything. Nobody would question his heart. But what he did was absolutely amazing, just digging deep. And then he gets up there and he crashes that 3rd time. And then he just goes again and gets Hymas at the very end to salvage a podium. Wow. That was an inspiring ride. And then Hayden Deegan, I like this kid. He's awesome. The way he rides, he's a beast, man. And I knew he was going to be fast in that second moto. I had a friend reach out and wanted to bet me lunch that Hayden was going to win the second moto, and I wouldn't take the bet because I wasn't sure he wasn't going to win. As fast as he was towards the end of that first moto, he is established. Like, he is a guy, he's right there. He's going to be in it. Like, I'm not calling him for the championship, but he's in it. Like, he's going to be there. I think he'll get moto wins or a win, or he's going to be right there. You can't put yourself in those top 3 positions and go that fast without eventually getting a win. And as upside down as this class is, and how good he is at starts, that's going to help Hayden a lot, a lot. Hunter Lawrence, he's going to have to get better starts than that. There's too many guys that are too close. We've got Joe Schmoda, Levi Kitchen, 10th place. That's how fast these guys are. And he didn't have a horrible day. Justin Cooper, who took off time to be prepared. It just didn't work out for him. And this is tough. And James Stewart talked about this on the broadcast. Like, sometimes when you come in and you put all this effort, and you want to smash everybody, and you're at your best, and you get served up like that, that can really mess with your psyche. It's very, very important that Justin Cooper bounces back and gets a moto win or an overall win at Hangtown, or this thing could spiral backwards. I know he's better on the East Coast tracks, but you better right this ship pretty quickly. Right now, he's the number 2 guy on Star. Hayden's number 1. Hymas and Ryder D looked awesome. Both these guys fighting out there on that nasty, dirty, high-speed, bumpy track. And this isn't like, a lot of you guys that are from the East Coast don't understand how the California and Vegas dirt, once it hardens, you're not just dealing with a rut, you're dealing with a slot. Like, this thing's like slot car racing. There's no getting in or out. These ruts don't bend. And those braking bumps. And Paula is built on a rock quarry. So a lot of times in the bottom of those ruts, you'll have a boulder you don't even see until you're picking yourself up. So it was nasty. Nice to see Tom Vial and Max Voland up there battling. Max is so talented, and I love his effort. And I know a lot of people are saying that he signed 2 years with Star. I talked to his camp on last Thursday. Nothing was signed. Nothing was signed. There's 3 teams in place still. Pro Circuit, KTM is still in the mix to bring him back, and Star. One of those teams needs to get him. Yeah. Speaking of guys next year, Jet Reynolds made his professional debut. For those of you that don't know Jet Reynolds, and a lot of you probably don't, this is the most heralded amateur racer since Ricky Carmichael. This kid was a can't-miss prospect. There were bidding wars for him. I don't think he lost a moto at Loretta's for like 4 years or something stupid. He's so good. And for him to have the setbacks, he smoked all these kids, these rookies that are coming in. Jet owned all of them for the longest time. He was the one. He was the generational talent that everyone was waiting for. And it got sidetracked with injuries, and it just hasn't come back. But I'll tell you what, we can build off of what he did. He got good starts. He ran up front. I'll be honest with you, if I had a 250 team right now, I'd be going over there and I'd try and sign him, because you can get him for a credible discount. He's out at Pro Circuit next year, which he probably shouldn't be if I'm Pro Circuit. Just hang in one more year with the kid, and I think it will pay off. And you'll get him for dirt cheap, because it's not like he's a hot prospect anymore. He probably made more money being an amateur than most guys do as a pro, but he's going to have to take a huge discount. He'll probably have to ride for bonuses only. But I would 100% take a flyer on Jet Reynolds. I think that kid's, I wouldn't write him off yet. What I saw, yeah, did he set the world on fire? No, but he was solid. And with the talent that he had, this is like getting a #1 draft pick in football who flunked out on one team. If you can get him for next to nothing, you sign him. Maybe you're the one that can bring him back. And then you look like a hero. And that talent didn't disappear. And speaking of disappearing talent, where's Michael Mosman's talent? This dude's getting smoked. This guy won Hangtown First Moto going away last year. What has happened to him? It just goes to show you the difference between first and around 20th is not that big of a difference. It's a little bit of aggression and a little bit of confidence and a little bit of fitness, and it's just a razor's edge, especially in this 250 class. Just ask Jeremy Martin. That's a guy coming in. I'm sorry, I'm a big fan of Jeremy Martin, what he's done. He's a 2-time champion. He's an all-time great. It's over. I don't see the fire, and I know people at Club MX. I talk to them regularly about what's going on. like I said, rumor is he's a party guy. He likes to party a little bit. I never would have guessed that, and like I said, but I trust my source that I got that from, and it sure looks like that's probably the case. He doesn't look like somebody who has his head in it. He doesn't look like somebody who's focused. He looks like somebody who's going through the motions, and I just hope he stays healthy. He's been through hell and back with all his injuries. He was almost paralyzed. There's a lot that's happened to this kid. He's a great champion, and I hope he just looks to me like his heart's not in it. That's just my opinion, but we shall see. So, all right, guys, let's get into the 450 class. All right, guys, the 450 class, or should I say the match race we have between Chase and Jet, because nobody else is going to be a factor. They're just not. There's no chance. Oh, before I get into that, check out epicgaragedesigns.com. We've got everything you need: slat wall, flooring, cabinets, drop shipping, whatever you need. Check out the website. And then ridestrap.com. We got goggles. All the 100% lenses transfer over. These are kick-ass goggles. And yeah, check out ridestrap.com. Goggles are called Strapped. And we're giving away a set. At the end of this video, I'll tell you who won, and I'll read the comment that got the goggles won. So this looked like an off-season exhibition race for these 450 guys. When you get like two guys and not a lot of people care, they're kind of just fulfilling their start contract. That's what Cooper Webb looks like. But I understand he hasn't ridden. You don't go out there on that nasty of a track and just push. You just don't. If there were an actual concussion protocol, Chase Sexton would have sat out. He hit his head so hard. Even Jet knew about it. Jet was talking about it. He didn't look like himself in that first moto. Kind of looked like himself in the second moto, but still not quite. Sexton is one of those dudes that will never, ever ask out. But, I mean, sometimes you got to protect guys like him from himself. While I'm glad to see the race, because it would have been really boring and the championship would have been over if Chase sits out those two motos, I'm glad he raced in the sense of, as a fan, to keep it exciting. But as someone health-wise, I guess I'm kind of a hypocrite in the sense I said I'm glad they looked the other way. I wish they wouldn't, but they did, and it actually worked out really good. He didn't hit his head again. Had he hit his head again, that could have been catastrophic. It changes these guys. It changes how they are, how they feel. But with that said, I don't know that Chase beats Jet no matter what. Jet is so good. That riding style he had on the 250 clearly did not suit Jet Lawrence, yet he still won. He's so good on a 450. It's mind-blowing. These guys are in trouble. And you can already see the tension. They did an interview with Lars, and he already talked about how there will be kind of some tension at the truck. It's going to get weird. By the way, I'm not related to Lars. A lot of people hit me up and say, hey, you guys, look, yeah, Lars and I were not separated at birth. We're not twins. So, yeah, there's that. He's way more handsome than I am. But these two they're in a race of their own. Occasionally, Ferrandis will get better. Hopefully, he'll get better towards the end of the year. He's got to build up his base. He's coming off a nasty, nasty concussion, which I crack up when everyone's like, oh, he was fine at Daytona. The doctors cleared him, blah, blah, blah. No, he's not. These guys, concussions, doctors don't know a ton. Just because a neurologist cleared you doesn't mean there's not some weird thing. When it comes to brain science, we don't know that much. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Chase seemed to do just fine. Does that mean he should have raced? I don't know. But yeah, Ferrandis is going to ride around in third. Plessinger looks really good. I would love to see Plessinger get up there and displace. I think we're going to see a pretty good battle between Plessinger and Ferrandis for that third spot on the podium, because that's the spot that's going to be available. Webb, I just have a hard time thinking he really cares that much. He really wanted to race World Supercross. KTM blocked him from that. So he came and raced the Nationals. So that's what he's doing. It's disgusting how these two series and the manufacturers have gotten involved. It's really weird. Can I also mention the Super Duper Cross? Randomly, they just did a drop race for 250 East riders. Huh? So after the season's over, you decide the East rounds had a drop to equal the West so that they don't have an advantage in points. What? We just making this shit up on the fly? Are you kidding me? And what world